Your brain starts dying 18 years before dementia gets diagnosed. Today, we're exposing the foods that can literally rewire your brain's defense system and the shocking toxins hiding in your kitchen that accelerate cognitive decline. Before we dive in, think about this. If you could prevent dementia with just 10 strategic food choices, would you make them today? Because while 25% of us carry the so-called dementia gene, here's what the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. The real power isn't in your DNA. It's sitting in your refrigerator right now. 1. The genetics myth. 40% of Alzheimer's patients don't even carry the APOE4 gene everyone fears. Let that sink in for a moment. We've been told that genetics is destiny, that if you have the wrong family history, you're doomed. But here's the truth the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to. Just because you inherit the APOE4 gene doesn't mean you're going to get dementia. I've met plenty of people in their 90s and over 100 who were sharp as a tack, while I've watched friends my age, we're talking 45 to 65, develop frontal temporal dementia. The difference wasn't their genes, it was their daily choices. Your fork is more powerful than your family tree. The real game changers are the modifiable risk factors you control every single day. While you can't change your DNA, you can absolutely change how your genes express themselves through what you eat, how you move, and what toxins you avoid. That's where real prevention begins. 2. Kale, the memory maximizer. Why does kale outperform every other vegetable for memory improvement? The answer lies in a powerful compound called sulforaphane that most people have never heard of. When you chew kale, you're unleashing one of nature's most potent brain protectors. Here's what happens in your body. Sulforaphane supercharges your glutathione redox system, which is your body's most powerful defense against oxidative stress. Think of glutathione as your cellular cleanup crew, working 24/7 to neutralize the free radicals that age your brain. But here's the kicker. Kale doesn't just protect your brain from future damage, it actively detoxifies heavy metals that have already accumulated in your brain tissue. Lead, mercury, arsenic. These neurotoxins lower your IQ scores and dramatically increase your risk of developing dementia at a younger age. Every bite of kale is literally pulling these brain poisons out of your system. Memory protection starts on your plate. The best part, you don't need to eat pounds of kale to get these benefits. Just a cup of fresh kale or a handful of kale chips can kickstart this detoxification process. Your brain will thank you for decades to come. 3. Garlic, the immune guardian. My friend's father ate garlic every single day and never caught a cold in his life. At first, I thought it was just good genetics, but then I discovered the science behind his lifelong health. Garlic isn't just a flavor enhancer. It's a pharmaceutical-grade immune system booster hiding in your spice rack. Here's why garlic is so powerful. It's loaded with sulfur compounds called allicin that directly support your liver's detoxification system. Your liver is your body's main filter, and when it's working optimally, it can clear toxins before they reach your brain. But garlic does something even more impressive. It contains selenium, a crucial cofactor that your glutathione system absolutely requires to function. The research is staggering. Studies show that people who eat garlic regularly experience 60% fewer cold symptoms and recover 70% faster when they do get sick. But here's what most people don't know. Garlic doesn't just boost your immune system, it balances it. It dampens overactive immune responses while strengthening protective immunity. Your immune system needs this daily armor. There's one crucial detail about preparation. Never deep fry or bake garlic on high heat, as this destroys the allicin. The best way to preserve maximum benefits is to roast garlic in its own peel at moderate temperatures, or better yet, eat it raw if you can handle the intensity. Your brain will thank you for decades to come. 4. Turmeric, the DNA repair agent. Imagine people poisoned with arsenic having their DNA repaired by a simple spice. That's exactly what happened in groundbreaking studies with turmeric's curcumin compound. Researchers took individuals who had been exposed to dangerous levels of arsenic, a metal that literally breaks DNA strands, and gave them turmeric supplements. The results were nothing short of miraculous. Not only did turmeric mitigate the inflammation caused by arsenic poisoning, but it actually helped repair the genetic damage. The curcumin compounds in turmeric can neutralize free radicals generated by heavy metal exposure while supporting your liver's natural detoxification processes. But DNA repair is just the beginning. Turmeric has what scientists call prebiotic effects, meaning it feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. Since 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut, and your gut-brain connection directly influences cognitive function, turmeric is literally feeding your brain through your digestive system. This golden powder doesn't just fight inflammation, it literally fixes genetic damage while supporting your gut microbiome. Heat it with oil and black pepper for maximum absorption. Here's the preparation secret most people miss. Curcumin is fat-soluble, so it needs to be heated with oil to be properly absorbed. Adding black pepper, ginger, cumin, or cinnamon, basically making curry spices, increases absorption even more. Your brain deserves this ancient medicine. 5. Green tea, the brain barrier breaker. Here's something most people don't know. Your blood-brain barrier blocks 99% of substances from reaching your neurons. This protective barrier is incredible at keeping toxins out, but it also prevents most beneficial compounds from getting in. That's what makes green tea so special. It's one of the few substances that can actually cross this barrier. Green tea contains a compound called EGCG. That's the only antioxidant capable of directly protecting your brain cells from free radical damage. While other antioxidants work in your blood and organs, EGCG goes straight to the source, your neurons themselves. It's like having a personal bodyguard for each brain cell. But green tea's benefits go beyond just protection. The caffeine in green tea works differently than coffee caffeine. It releases slowly, providing steady energy without the crash, while simultaneously increasing neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine. These are the chemicals responsible for mood, alertness, and concentration. Then there's L-theanine, green tea's secret weapon. This amino acid promotes relaxation without drowsiness by increasing calming neurotransmitters and boosting alpha brainwave activity. It's the reason Buddhist monks have been drinking green tea during meditation for centuries. Your brain deserves this daily defense. Some cutting-edge research even suggests that EGCG may promote neurogenesis, the actual growth of new neurons, and strengthen the synaptic connections between brain cells. That's not just protection, that's enhancement. If you're finding these brain-protecting secrets as eye-opening as I am, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're just getting started with the most powerful foods that can literally rewire your cognitive future. Trust me, what's coming next will change how you think about berries forever. 6. Wild berries, the anthocyanin arsenal. Most people think blueberries are the ultimate brain food, but here's what the research actually shows. Elderberries contain 4 times more anthocyanins than even wild blueberries. These anthocyanins are the deep purple compounds that actually improve memory, reduce DNA damage, and lower blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar all at the same time. Here's the hierarchy most people don't know. Black raspberries beat black currants beat blueberries, and elderberries beat them all. The rule is simple. The darker the berry, the more concentrated the brain protective compounds. But there's a catch with elderberries. Fresh, unripened ones contain cyanide, so you want to stick with properly ripened or processed form. The anthocyanins in these berries don't just provide antioxidant protection, they're like premium fuel for your brain. They improve blood flow to cognitive centers, reduce inflammation in neural tissue, and have been shown in studies to actually reverse age-related memory decline. Always choose wild over cultivated when possible. Here's why wild varieties are superior. Most of the anthocyanins are concentrated in the skin and seeds. Wild berries have thicker skins and more seeds relative to their size, which means more brain protective compounds per bite. Cultivated berries have been bred for size and sweetness, often at the expense of these crucial nutrients. If you can't find wild berries, frozen is actually better than fresh in many cases, because berries are flash frozen at peak ripeness when anthocyanin levels are highest. Your brain craves these colorful compounds. 7. Omega-3s, the myelin builders. What if I told you Americans eat 7 times more brain-damaging fats than brain-building ones? We're literally drowning our neurons in inflammatory omega-6 seed oils while starving them of the omega-3s they desperately need for basic function. This isn't just a nutritional imbalance, It's a cognitive catastrophe. Here's what omega-3s actually do in your brain. They're required to form the myelin sheath that insulates your neurons. Think of myelin like the rubber coating on electrical wires. Without it, your neural signals can't transmit properly. When you don't get enough omega-3s, your brain's communication network starts breaking down. The ideal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 should be about 4 to 1, but most Americans are eating ratios of 25 to 1 or even higher. Those excess omega-6s from seed oils, processed foods, and restaurant meals create inflammation that literally dissolves the connections between brain cells. Ocean fish, flax seeds, and walnuts can fix this ratio. But here's the problem with modern fish. They're increasingly contaminated with mercury, microplastics, and other toxins that can actually accelerate cognitive decline. The cleanest sources are small, cold-water fish like sardines, anchovies, and wild-caught salmon. For plant-based omega-3s, freshly ground flax seeds and raw walnuts are your best bet. The transformation happens quickly when you correct this ratio. Within weeks, people report clearer thinking, better memory, and improved mood. Your brain is literally rebuilding itself with better materials. 8. The rice revelation. Picture this. Every grain of rice you eat has absorbed 10 times more arsenic than wheat, oats, or quinoa. This isn't fear-mongering, it's basic chemistry. Rice grows in flooded fields, and arsenic is naturally present in soil and groundwater. The flooding conditions that rice requires create the perfect environment for arsenic absorption. This toxic heavy metal doesn't just pass through your system, it accumulates in your brain tissue over decades, slowly lowering your IQ and accelerating dementia onset. The scariest part? There's no safe level of inorganic arsenic. Every bit that enters your body is doing microscopic damage to your neurons. But rice isn't just contaminated with natural arsenic. It's also heavily contaminated with arsenic from decades of pesticide use, mining runoff, and industrial pollution. When you eat rice, you're essentially consuming a concentrated dose of one of the most potent neurotoxins on Earth. If you must eat rice, here's how to minimize the damage. Rinse it until the water runs clear, then boil it in excess water and drain it like pasta. This removes about 50% of the arsenic. But honestly, better yet, choose safer grains entirely. Quinoa, millet, buckwheat, and even oats are far safer alternatives that provide better nutrition without the toxic load. Your brain doesn't need rice to be healthy, but it definitely needs to avoid arsenic to stay sharp. 9. The hidden toxin epidemic. I knew a construction worker who developed dementia at 55 because he never wore protection around paints and chemicals. He thought he was tough enough to handle anything, but his brain was slowly being poisoned by the very materials he worked with every day. Lead from old paint, solvents from adhesives, and volatile organic compounds from finishes. These neurotoxins don't just cause immediate symptoms. They accumulate silently for decades. Here's what most people don't realize. We're all construction workers now. Lead from old pipes contaminates our water, especially when we use hot water for cooking. Arsenic naturally occurs in groundwater and concentrates in certain regions. Glyphosate from Roundup is now detectable in most people's urine, and it's been directly linked to neurodegenerative diseases. The plastic crisis is even worse than most people understand. Every time you drink from a plastic bottle or eat seafood, you're consuming microscopic plastic particles that cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in neural tissue. We're literally building our brains out of plastic waste. But here's the good news. Small changes make huge differences. Keep windows closed on windy days to avoid lead dust. Filter your water and never cook with hot tap water. Replace plastic water bottles with glass or stainless steel. Your brain can't detox what it can't avoid. The key is thinking prevention, not just treatment. Every toxin you avoid today is brain function you preserve for tomorrow. Your future self will thank you for these simple precautions. 10. The lifestyle multipliers. Want to know the one thing that beats every supplement on the market? 30 minutes of exercise 5 times per week. While Americans average only 3,000 steps per day, the brain protective sweet spot is 10,000 steps. Exercise doesn't just improve cardiovascular health, it directly stimulates neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells. But exercise is just the foundation. Your brain is 73% water, so even mild dehydration significantly affects memory and cognitive function. Most people walk around chronically dehydrated without realizing it. Clean, filtered water isn't just about avoiding toxins, it's about giving your brain the medium it needs to function optimally. Sleep is where the magic happens. During deep sleep, your brain's lymphatic system activates, washing away the toxic proteins that accumulate during waking hours. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it literally allows dementia-causing proteins to build up in your brain tissue. Social connections might be the most underestimated factor. Isolation accelerates cognitive decline faster than almost any other risk factor. Your brain needs regular social stimulation to maintain its neural networks. Find a helper, a friend, or family member to connect with regularly. Movement is medicine for your mind. These lifestyle factors don't just prevent dementia, they can actually reverse early cognitive decline. The brain's neuroplasticity means it can rebuild and strengthen itself at any age, but only if you give it the right conditions. Thanks for watching.